Hello, my name is Melissa and I'm here with the Abbey Community School Society to deliver our online video-based science program that hopefully you're at home and you can follow along with the experiment we're doing today. So before we get started, I think we should go over a few safety science rules to keep you safe and so you have lots of fun while you're doing your experiment. So the first one that I like is that we should not eat anything or drink anything during our science experiment. That way, if we are using a chemical that we don't know what it is and we accidentally drank it and we got sick, we don't want that. So make sure you don't eat or drink anything during science. Number 2, when you are smelling something, remember not to sniff really close to your sample, but waft. So wafting is when you scoop the air towards your nose, and it's a safe way to bring the smell up to your nose. And our third science rule is if you're doing a chemistry experiment, make sure you're not putting your face all the way over the experiment, because if it were to splash, it might splash into your eyes, and I don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you stand back while you're doing your science experiments. Our first experiment today is called ice fishing. And we are going to try and collect ice using a string. How are we going to do that? Well, in just a minute, we're going to try this experiment out. Our goal for this experiment is we want to try and pick up an ice cube with our string. Now, how about you go ahead and try that right now? So let's put a few ice cubes into our cup and try it out. What do you think you can do with your string? Can you just pick up those ice cubes? Let's try it. It did not work for me. Did it work for you? Well, our goal for this experiment is to try 4 ingredients, our coffee, sugar, salt, and flour, and see which one will help melt the ice so that we can pick up our ice using our string. Okay? So this would be a good time to make a prediction of what you think will happen. So a prediction is also called a hypothesis in science, and you might have a prediction that goes like this. If I add salt to my ice will melt into my string and I'll be able to pick the ice up with my string. Or you might think, if I add coffee to my ice, the coffee will melt my ice and I'll be able to pick up the ice with my string. Okay? So think about that. You can always pause the video here and think about what your hypothesis is going to be for this experiment. And then come back when you're ready. So first things first, I have all the supplies I need on the table, and I think you should do the same. So what we need for this experiment are 4 plastic cups, 4 pieces of string, a tablespoon or a big spoon, and our 4 testing materials. So I have a cup of salt, a cup of coffee, a cup of sugar, and a cup of flour. Of course, we also need ice. We can't forget about our ice. That should be in your freezer right now. We want to keep it nice and cold until we actually do our experiment so that it doesn't melt in between. Okay, so let's get started. First things first is we are going to use our cup, and we want to add a few ice cubes to our cup. So let's take 3 ice cubes. Now we are going to add a string. All right, so the first step, we are going to use our variable that is salt. Okay, so first thing, make sure you have a few ice cubes in your cup. Then take your string and make it into a U shape. Okay? Drop that U into your cup so the bottom of the U is touching your ice cubes. Make sure you have your strings hanging over the side of the cup. Okay. Now, I want you to take your big spoon or your tablespoon and measure out 1 tablespoon of salt. Okay. So what we want to do is pour our salt into our cup. And you want to try and get it as even as possible. So you can use a stick or maybe a butter knife and just tap over the top and make it even along the top. It's okay if you spill salt, we can definitely clean that up after. All right, so now we have our tablespoon of salt. We want to dump that on top of our string on the ice. All right, now we want to add 2 more ice cubes on top of our salt and our string. You can add 2 or 3, just make sure that they're touching your string and the ice. Okay, now we can't touch the string yet. We have to let this chemical reaction happen. So this means we have to count to 30. So let's count to 30 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, should we look at our cup? It looks about the same, but let's try it out. I want you to gently pull on the strings and see if you have caught any ice cubes. Oh no, I didn't catch any ice cubes. Did you catch any ice cubes? All right, one thing that we can do to make this better is maybe we didn't leave the ice and the salt together long enough. Okay? Maybe next time we can count to 45 seconds so that the chemical reaction has enough time to work before we pull on the string. Make sure that you are using maybe a thicker string, and then you'll be able to lift up those heavy ice cubes. Another thing that could have happened is maybe I didn't add enough salt. Okay? Maybe the ice cubes were too heavy and my string couldn't pick them up, or maybe I pulled too hard on the string. Okay? So these are all things that we can try and fix next time we do the experiment. The first time that we tried our salt experiment, I was using a very thin string, but it didn't quite work. So I'm going to try again using a yarn string, so it's a little bit more fibrous, and hopefully it will stick to our ice cubes as well. So let's put our 3 ice cubes into our cup. We're going to add our salt. So we can measure out 1 tablespoon of salt. Let's put our string in first. Remember, we want our bottom of our string to touch our ice cubes. We're going to add 2 more ice cubes on top, and then count to 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. All right, so you know what to do. Carefully lift up our string from the cup and see if we have caught any ice cubes. Oh, it's feeling really stuck. There we go. Oh, all right, I've caught 3 ice cubes with the salt. Did that happen for you? Were you able to catch any ice cubes? That's awesome. All right, so let's take off our ice cubes so we can try using our string with the next variable. Okay. Let's move on to our second variable, coffee. So for this one, we want to take our second empty cup, and we're going to add a few ice cubes to the bottom, just like we did before. Okay. Now we are going to add our string, yes, our string first, into a U shape. Make sure that bottom of the string is touching those ice cubes. Okay. Now remember, we're going to take our tablespoon and measure out 1 tablespoon of coffee. All right. We can put those coffee grounds over top of our string onto our ice and add a few more ice cubes. All right, now we have to count to 45 seconds. Make sure you don't touch the string until you've counted to 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. All right, let's try and see if these ice cubes can be picked up by the string. Didn't work again. Did yours work? Next variable is sugar. So we are going to try adding sugar to our ice cubes to see if our string can pick up those ice cubes. So once again, take our next cup, add 2 or 3 ice cubes to the bottom, take your string, make a U, make sure that bottom of the string is touching the ice cubes. We're going to pour in a little bit of sugar. We're going to take 2 more ice cubes and put them on top of our string. It missed the string. I'm going to add a few more. All right, and we're going to count to 45 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. All right, so get your strings ready. Let's see if we have caught any ice cubes. Ah, it worked again using sugar. I caught 2 ice cubes. Very cool. All right. Now on to our last variable, our flour. So remember, we'll take our last cup. Let's put a few ice cubes in the bottom. We're going to add our string, make it into a U. We're going to add a tablespoon of flour, which I already have measured out in this cup. And a few more ice cubes on top. All right, you know what we have to do? Count to 45 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. All right, go ahead. Let's try and see if you've caught any ice cubes. Oh, that's just a flowery piece of yarn. We did not catch any ice cubes this time, but that's okay. All right, so when we look back at our experiment, we used salt, coffee, sugar, and flour. Which ones worked for you? For me, I was able to catch the ice cubes when I used salt and sugar. Okay? So the scientific explanation for this is if we think about water, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. So that's the freezing point of water. So when we take ice out of the freezer, it is frozen as an ice cube and it's at 0 degrees Celsius. But when we add salt to those ice cubes, the salt decreases the freezing point of water. So that means that when we add salt, the water has to be colder than 0 degrees Celsius for it to stay frozen. So that the salt actually tricks the water into melting. Okay? So when we added our salt to our experiment, those ice cubes started to melt at 0 degrees Celsius, and they melted into our string and then refroze, keeping the string with it. And that's why you were able to lift up those ice cubes with the string. So this brings us to the end of our experiment today. I hope you enjoyed it and have learned lots about ice cubes and the freezing point of water. And you can always try this experiment again if you have more salt or other solids at home. One thing about this experiment is any type of solid or powder like salt and sugar, any solid that dissolves in water should be able to decrease the freezing point of water, making the ice cubes melt and attach to your string. So if you can think of any other powders that you have in your house, maybe like baking soda or baking powder, you can try them out and see if they allow your ice cubes to melt into your string. All right, so that's it for this week. I hope to see you all next time.